Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Louis Sports Network. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Tuesday night. It's a thunderstorm out here where I'm at, but before we get started, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, make sure your post notifications turned on, make sure you're sharing on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate it. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Tuesday. Peace and blessings to everybody. I hope everybody is safe in their homes. If you happen to be outside, make sure that you're safe. Definitely want to appreciate you guys for always liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. I definitely appreciate it. Let's continue to subscribe and spread the awareness to the channel. Definitely appreciate that. As I always say, guys, without you guys, there is no me. And now let's get on to the video. So for some reason, I was on YouTube and I happened to stumble across a recommended feed on my channel, and it was on from Jason Whitlock's channel. And there's about a guy by the name of Paul Shirley. I've never heard of this guy ever before. Apparently he used to play in the NBA he played for 3 years and he played a total of 18 games. So I never heard who Paul Shirley was. Anywho, though, he was on Jason Whitlock's YouTube channel, and they started to talk about Kobe because of everybody knows that Kobe passed away in January 26th of 2020. And some people feel who don't like Kobe, have said that they feel that Kobe's GOAT status and his idolatry worship has gone over the roof ever since he passed away. And now this guy, Paul Shirley, has gone on the show and talk about how Kobe was a bit of a sociopath. And before I want to continue, I want to say that, listen, I know that Kobe has his character flaws as a person. But again, it's just like with Michael Jordan. You have to separate the person from the basketball player. And there were times as a basketball player, because we know that Kobe is an alpha, Kobe had a tendency at times to shoot his teams out of games. Like, I'm a Kobe fan and I'm not even going to deny that, like, at all. But at the same time, though, Kobe was able to mature and become a leader, and he was able to lead his team to championships, and he was able to win with 2 different rosters. Remember when he was the young Kobe, and he had a very difficult time being able to socialize with his teammates, whereas he became to lead as he got older. And when he was with the second stint of Lakers that ended up going to 3 straight finals and winning back-to-back NBA championships with Pau Gasol, Kobe was able to show a bit of maturity, be able to believe in his teammates, and then he was able to win. But the only thing is, the one constant that he had was Phil Jackson. I'll get that to in a bit later. But what we're going to do is we are going to take a listen to this Paul Shirley guy, who was a former NBA player, and he happened to trash Kobe Bryant as a sociopath. Now, keep in mind, Jason Whitlock and Kobe have a history beef, and Jason Whitlock is not a fan of Kobe Bryant. He believes that Kobe is being worshipped and pushed to a GOAT status that he doesn't belong. Again, I'm not here to argue that. That could be debated in the comment section, what you think about that. But let's take a listen to what Paul Shirley had to say on the Jason Whitlock show, and I will provide the commentary. So let's take a listen.
Spirits in that regard, because if there was anybody who was hard on Kobe Bryant while he was alive, it was me. I went to training camp with the Lakers, my first job out of college, and was in pure adulation of Shaquille O'Neal. He's the kindest, most generous person that I met in basketball.
Well, let me just say this. It's nice that you believe that Shaq he was very kind to you. That's nice and all, but Shaq has got his flaws as a person too. And it's one of the things that I'm going to say that Kobe did not like. And I'm not here defending Kobe, like I said, but Shaq has a bit of sensitivity, especially if he feels that you are becoming a bit bigger than him in terms of having a bit of the spotlight, so to speak. because Shaq went on an apology spree, like after him, Penny, and Kobe, when their playing days were already over. And remember that Shaq got jealous of Penny because of how famous Penny was starting to get in Orlando. It was one of the reasons that Shaq left Orlando. Shaq said he was an opportunity chaser, but again, Shaq wanted to be the main guy. And we saw what happened with Kobe when Kobe wanted to show that he was the main guy, that there was issues there. And I said that Shaq really opened the door with his lack of work ethic. But yet again, like I said, let's continue the video and listen to what Paul Shirley is saying.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the story is that I came out of Iowa State, undrafted, nobody knows who I am. First day of media day in Los Angeles. I had decided if I'm going to be a professional basketball player, I'm going to do this a little bit differently. So I walked up to Shaquille O'Neal and I said, Mr. O'Neal, I'm Paul Shirley. I'm here for training camp. And he said, I know who you are. He didn't know who I was, but he did that to make me feel at ease and feel comfortable throughout training camp. He was kind, always asked, Shirley, you need anything? Let me know. Kobe Bryant was the exact opposite of that. I kind of scared me in a lot of ways.
What year is this?
This is 2001. So right in the peak of Phil Jackson and the guys. And it was, I thought...
I don't want to cut you off. Don't
okay.
lose your point.
All right.
But I just want to be crystal clear. I had no idea that Paul was going to talk about this and say this. So Rashad McCants, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, those of you that have pledged your allegiance to the death cult of Kobe Bryant, I didn't set this up. So, when you send your death threats, I'm sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I should mention also Matt Barnes.
Jason, come on, man. Really? Mr. Whitlock, you knew exactly what you were doing, so don't go there. Oh my goodness, Jason Whitlock, you knew exactly what you was doing with this Paul Shirley. Like I said, you're based on narrative, and I get it. Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, yes, and Rashad McCants, yeah, they can be a bit of Kobe fanboys. I understand it, but again, let's go back and continue to listen to what Paul Shirley had to say.
The dude who worked so hard. We played against each other in the minor leagues. He made it to the pros. I was always happy to see his success. So I have nothing but lovely things to think about Matt Barnes. What I saw from Kobe Bryant in training camp, and Shaquille O'Neal would talk about this a lot, that Kobe didn't really have his own personality. So Shaq would make fun of him and behind his back and say, hey, look at baby Mike out there. Because Kobe Bryant was aping Michael Jordan.
Well, I'm gonna say this, man. I mean, Shaq did do that, and Shaq did that intentionally. Let me just say that, and also remember that Shaq was somebody who loved to stir the pot because he was all about controversy. Remember what he said about what the NBA stands for when he said it was the NBA is nothing but actors. So when it came to Kobe, when Kobe was a rookie, Shaq called him Showboat. There's a book called Showboat that talks about Kobe. I think the book came out in 2017, and I actually read the book, and it really talks about Kobe's career from the time he was born to the time that his dad played in the league, to when he was in Italy, to when he came back to Philly, and then the whole process of Kobe's NBA journey. But it's funny because Shaq called Kobe, rookie Kobe, Showboat. And that was the name of the book because of Kobe was about the individual. Like, he was trying to prove that he belonged in the NBA, and Kobe really didn't understand team. He didn't understand socialization. Again, Kobe, you have to kind of give him a bit of a break when it comes to his young career because Kobe really had to learn it, which is why there's people who have said that Kobe would have benefited going to college because he would have learned the idea of being able to socialize, and he would have learned the aspect of team, and also Kobe would have been able to learn on how to properly understand and think the game. And Kobe was young, and Kobe was more of an introvert. He was more stoic. He was in isolation. But again, you got to give Kobe a bit of a break because Kobe went to Italy when he was 4 years old. So he lived in Italy for 9 years, and him and his two sisters, they had to really, their language really was, they were learning the Italian language, but it's like they really didn't know anybody. So it was really just them on their own. So in terms of the way Kobe grew up, you got to give him a pass on that.
Again, we live in this time where it's difficult to talk about people who have died, so I'm reluctant even to say what I'm about to say, but I thought at the time, Kobe Bryant is probably a true sociopath. Like, he doesn't have real emotions, and that was frightening to me, just to see that in action, because it was so unsettling in the way that being around any sociopath is. In fact, when he died, several reporters who knew that I had been hard on him called me and asked if I wanted to say anything, and I just buried it because I didn't think it served me at the time. As you know, I run a co-working space in Denver. I'm out of basketball. I don't particularly care about all of this. So, but still, there was that reluctance to be hard on him, even though I'd had this personal experience, which I think was pretty valid. I met hundreds and hundreds of basketball players, and so was able to pretty well catalog, did I like this guy, did I not? Kevin Garnett, for example, just the most amazing human being, such a leader, so forthright and direct. Steve Nash, great guy who's...
Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett is a bit of a fake personality in his own right, so I wouldn't even go that far. I mean, again, I guess your interaction with KG, I mean, he was pretty good. That's fine, but I could even go as far as with Kevin Garnett too. I said Kevin Garnett's got character flaws in his own right as well. I mean, like I said, none of us are perfect, and I get it that Kobe was a bit of a sociopath because, again, he patterned his lifestyle, his mannerisms of Michael Jordan. Yeah, it sounds a bit maniacal if you really think about it, because Kobe really didn't have any originality, which is what a lot of Jordan diehards don't like about Kobe. It was because Kobe was really not his own person. You have to understand, in order for Kobe to be considered the greatest of all time, and he could personally be your greatest of all time, again, in order for the GOAT conversation, you have to make a case that you were the best player at your position. And that's why I don't have Kobe as the GOAT, because Kobe does not have a case to be the best player at his position. Michael Jordan is clearly the best shooting guard in NBA history at his position. Kobe doesn't have that case. Yeah, Kobe is easily the second greatest shooting guard of all time, but that's why Kobe doesn't have a serious case for the GOAT, in my personal opinion. And I said that when you look at when you look at impact, what other guys have done in their careers when it comes to the GOAT conversation, that's why I don't have Kobe in my top 10. But that's not to say that Kobe wasn't a great player. I have Kobe 11th. He's just knocking on the door on the top 10. When people say, why don't you have Kobe like in your top 10? It's just disrespect. Now, here's what I'm saying. If you guys notice, even though I don't have Kobe in my top 10, I've never disrespected Kobe. Like, I've never gone out of my way to have a personal bias, hate towards Kobe, because I know what Kobe brought to the table. It's just that when there's other guys that I compare him to, I just feel like they brought a bit more to the table than he did. But what should not happen, and I've seen this constant time and time again, Kobe's the only player in NBA history that I notice he gets penalized for playing with Shaquille O'Neal when that shouldn't happen. And he gets penalized for playing with Pau Gasol because, remember, Kobe was the number 2 option with Shaq, but I call that a Superman-Batman partnership. In 2000, Kobe was Robin. 2001, 2002, Kobe was Batman. And then he was able to prove that he could lead a team to multiple championships as the number 1 option when he played alongside Pau Gasol. That's why I said that Kobe deserves credit, because he was able to win with a dominating top 10 player of all time, and then a guy in Pau Gasol who was pretty good, borderline great. He just wasn't as dominant as Shaq, but that's not to take away anything that Pau Gasol did not do. Pau Gasol was able to make more All-NBA teams playing alongside Kobe. He was only just an all-star, which tells you that Pau's pretty good, but he never played at an All-NBA level in the time period. And the thing is, Pau Gasol had a reputation that he was building around the league from what other players had said about him. But Kobe made him a mentally more tougher player, and he was the perfect fit for the triangle offense with Phil Jackson. No doubt about it. And Kobe does not win those championships without Pau Gasol. But let's get back to what Paul Shirley's saying.
Honest, direct, lots of really great and positive experiences in basketball. But there was something about Kobe Bryant that was weird and odd to me when I was around him.
Steve Kim, the studio is
This is all orchestrated by you, Mr. Jason Whitlock. We know this.
on fire. You gonna throw any gas on this? Or you gonna try to douse the flames here? Kobe Bryant, sociopath. Kobe Bryant over exaggerated his greatness is being exaggerated because of his death. Marcellus with a provocative perspective, Paul with a provocative perspective. I've got a pretty provocative perspective. What say you?
The funny thing is that Marcellus Wiley is another guy who has said that Kobe fans have interjected Kobe into this GOAT conversation and elevated him to such a status ever since he died. I get Kobe fans are going to feel a bit different, but again, we'll get back to the video real quick because Paul Shirley had to say what he had to say. And I'm not going to continue, but Paul Shirley said that Kobe's persona was just a bit weird. It was very odd. Excuse me. I said that Kobe had a lot of individual goals. His goal was he wanted to be the greatest of all time, but the problem was he thought that he could do it by himself, and that was the biggest mistake. I mean, people have said if Kobe would have played for the Charlotte Hornets instead of the Los Angeles Lakers, he would have been exposed for what he truly is, because his career, his legacy-defining moment was really beating the Boston Celtics, winning those multiple titles without Shaquille O'Neal, and having Phil Jackson. Because I'm going to say this, y'all. Michael Jordan made Phil Jackson. Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal won because of Phil Jackson. There's a difference. Phil Jackson had no championships playing alongside Michael Jordan, and remember, Phil Jackson won a championship with Jordan in his second season with the Bulls. Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal won their first championship in Phil's first year with the Lakers. Big difference. Big difference. And I'm on record as saying that Shaq was the engine of that 3P team. He was. But at the same time, Kobe Bryant was the one closing out those games in the fourth quarter. If you look at Kobe's 2001 and 2002 total points and his field goal percentage, Kobe was pretty efficient down the stretch of those games in the playoffs, back-to-back years in 2001 and 2002. Those are just facts. My issue with this whole Paul Shirley thing is that he never said this when Kobe was alive. Yeah, Kobe treated him, I guess, in some type of way. He didn't like it, and he probably felt that he just couldn't say anything to him at the time. But I guess he decided to come out now, and it's been a lot of players as of late. I mean, you look at Gilbert Arenas, you look at Dwayne Wade, as I mentioned in the last video with T-Mac, and then you obviously had T-Mac. The funny thing is, T-Mac already had mentioned something about Dirk Nowitzki in his defense now of his legacy and his career in the 2005 playoffs about playing defense on Dirk. But anyway, I just find it very strange that Paul Shirley, whoever this guy is, just happened to come out and he decided to just come on this Jason Whitlock show and then just say these things about Kobe. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's just, my issue is that what's going on that people are just coming out of hiding now to do this. It's just a bit weird. I don't know. Like I said, Kobe's got flaws, and it's like, well, we can't. Who says that we can't talk about flaws? Again, I don't got a problem with it. I just find it a bit strange of the timing of it. And Jason Whitlock invited Paul Shirley twice because I guess there's a guy by the name of Scap Attack who he debates. And I have to take a look into that video. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Louis with another one. Let me know what you guys think of the former NBA player happened to trashing Kobe Bryant, calling him a sociopath. on the Jason Whitlock channel on the show. Let me know what you guys think. Let's up, live, love, love. Thank you guys for watching.